No, I asked about Ramakrishna's. Yeah, Ramakrishna sir, you suddenly dropped off.
Sir, actually, there is some problem with my camera here and then the mic. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, loud and clear.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I had to drop off inventory. Sir, which book were you translating? That Romanian book?
Oh, that is known as pyramid power.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Is this? I started the record. Oh, recording has started. So I will do the reading for now till Bala ma'am joins. We don't know whether she is joining or not. We will be going. See, last chapter was about what we can do with the eyes, right? He was talking about
Yeah.
the health related stuff and the eyes,
Yeah.
where he said the glasses can impede any such self correction. That means every mechanism that we have in the body is capable of doing a self correction.
Yeah.
Okay. And if we interfere with it, we will be impeding that. Then he says, we will go into the medical profession and it is too late for that now. So Rupert should go along with the continuing relaxation sessions as they occur and try to capture his mental state then in ordinary times. And I bid you a fond good evening. Good night, Seth. Thank you very much. Tell him that my energy has always been available to him. He can use it freely and fully. That is because she started getting the feeling that she was always connected to Seth. It will not negate or block out my existence. It is available at all times and it is also his right and mine by right. It belongs to all beings by right. It is simply manifested in many ways at many times. And good night. So, end at 11:37 p.m. Jane still felt more or less relaxed, floppy. She laughed. I haven't done a damn thing since 3 o'clock this afternoon, except get supper and have this session. And right now, I feel pretty fine. We think a relaxation follows naturally enough in the wake of a prolonged, intense psychic activity. She had no session. Monday night, for instance, nor did Seth come through in ESP class last night. And she has already called off her writing class for this afternoon. Adding to the 1105 note on sound, the 1971-72 sessions mentioned there also contained much about the inner meanings of sound and Jane's development and use of Sumari. Sumari is her poetry and language, I think. And once again, I refer the reader to her introduction told, as Seth told us. Sumari effectively blocks the automatic translation of inner experience into everyday verbal stereotypes. One of its surveys will be to teach Jane to free her inner cognitions enough so that she can translate speaker manuscripts without distorting them out of all proportion. As with Sumari, we expect that references to the speakers will be included in this book from time to time. In reincarnational terms, the speakers are teaching personalities who reach across the centuries. Seth commented in chapter 20 of Seth Speaks, the speakers, more than most, are highly active through all aspects of existence, whether physical or non-physical, waking or sleeping, between lives, or at all other levels. Now, which means all of us are always active in all states of existence, and from the ascension and the light body, we understand that we are there in 383 planets.
Sir, that statement
So,
is really confusing.
which one?
You are parallelly existing in 383 planets.
Why is it confusing? You are thinking from the materialistic existence. What if you are considering yourself as the non-materialistic existence?
No, no, agreed. When you say a person exists, he has to produce something on a minute by minute basis, such as you breathe, you eat, do something, whatever.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Why do you say that?
No, but
See,
if I don't do any of that, like even including the starting from the breathing, how can you say that I exist?
what do you mean? You are breathing, you need to breathe only to help this body survive, right?
Right.
When you are in this form,
No, it is not only breathing. I'm walking. Putting the things here and there. All that, any kind of a thing. There is some productive work I'm doing every second, except when I'm sleeping.
no,
That's
sir,
it.
but you are missing out on one very important aspect of your existence.
Yeah.
What is that, you tell me?
No, I don't know. I'm missing. Sorry.
Look at this. Are you able to see the diagram that I have hosted?
Yes,
What
but there
about
is
the right
one
side diagram?
right side is the energy, consciousness.
No. If that is consciousness, then what is all this?
Now the different layers of the around the human body.
Correct. You are only talking about 5 layers. What about beyond that? Are you getting the point?
Yeah.
Right? So why is it confusing? You are only talking about this as existence. What about these?
No, no. I understand, sir. See, my point is, I am existing for you because I am communicating with you. Okay, right?
Correct.
Like that, I don't exist if I cannot communicate with you. Yeah,
No, not
get
necessary. Do your parents exist for you?
yes, they existed. Okay, that is a past
No,
tense.
no, no. But then you are talking from the soul perspective, not the physical materialistic existence perspective. Then why is it confusing?
No, but at the same time, my parents do not exist today, right?
No, as a soul, that is what I'm saying. You are only trying to answer your question from your materialistic standpoint.
That is true. That is true. Yes.
So that is why the confusion. That's what I'm trying to communicate. The confusion is because of that. Okay, got it.
No, my point.
Right?
Okay, let me go a
Huh.
little further. Even if I say my father got reincarnated and said, he's in somewhere else, but he's still a one person, one body.
He is
I don't
not one body. Sir, if I pixelate you, is that photograph still yours?
Yes.
That means you have become from the density perspective, you have increased, your density has reduced. That means you have spread yourself thin. Correct?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So, as particles, you still exist, correct?
Yes, I do.
That is the point he is making.
Okay.
Through all aspects of existence, whether physical or non-physical. Note the statement. He is very clear. Are you able to read this sentence?
Yeah. Yeah.
What is he saying there? He is not mincing any words. Okay. Ratna ma'am, do you want to do the reading?
Sure, sir. Give me 1 second. I will go to a different room and start it.
Correct. Okay. So, session 624, October 30th, 1972, 9:45 p.m. Monday. Now, good evening. Good evening, sir. We will continue dictation. To be healthy, you must be in health. You must believe in health. A good physician is a changer of belief. Beautiful sentence, right?
I'm ready,
He
sir.
will, yeah. So you can start with he will replace.
Okay, yeah. So he will replace an idea of illness with one of health. Whatever methods or drugs he uses will not be effective unless this change of belief takes place.
So fundamentally, it is very important that when a person is getting into a healing journey or any manifestation journey, he needs to first change his beliefs, orient them to the direction of the outcome.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, what will happen? Let us.
Unfortunately, when man became a labeler, he also made maps, so to speak, of great complexity, categorizing various diseases with greater effectiveness than ever before. He studied dead tissue to discover the nature of the disease that killed it. Physicians began to think of man as carriers of disease and diseases, which in certain terms they, the physicians, did themselves create through some new medical procedures. The old medicine men often dealt far more directly with the patient himself and understood the nature of beliefs and the prime importance of suggestion. Many of their techniques were adopted for their psychological shock value, in which the patient was quite effectively brainwashed out of die disease he believed that he had. So, the present medical profession is sadly hampered because of its own beliefs. Often it operates as a framework in which poor health and disease are not only accepted as normal, excuse me, but the concepts but the concepts
Get
behind them
yourself a glass of
transcend.
water.
No. Yeah. Here you have again, as in psychoanalysis, a hide and seek arrangement in which both doctor and patient take a part. Both
Yeah.
believe they need the other, of course. Behind this is psychic pattern of beliefs in which the patient often assigns to the doctor the powers of knowledge and wisdom that his beliefs have taught him he does not have. Knowing otherwise, the patient will still wants to consider the doctor omnipotent.
Just hold there.
Yes,
Just
yeah.
hold there. See, uh, if this was the situation in the 1900s and late 1800s, right? Where does it leave us? Any ideas? That means situation was equally bad even in those years. Are you all with me?
Yes.
Just extend your thought process. For the last 2 centuries, right? No, 1900s, and this is, yeah, more than 2 centuries actually speaking.
But it wasn't that bad in the beginning of the 1900s and even up to mid 1900s.
No, see, we are comparing it to today, but if you read this sentence, this book was completed by the 1930s,
Yeah.
right? And it took 32 years
Yeah,
for him
but
to
there
put
were
this
so
book
many
together.
home remedies in those days, right, sir? Like it
No,
wasn't
no,
always the
see,
doctor.
that is what he is saying here. The present medical profession is sadly.
Yeah,
Now, the
of
present
course.
means it is not from our perspective. When
And
he put this book
1930s.
in 1930s,
Yeah.
and even that is more than, that's almost a century old.
Yeah.
And it became
Chandragar,
worse
yeah,
than
just
compared
quick.
to.
Yeah.
Chandragar, just let's think about diabetic. That was not discovered then, right? They
No,
got
it was. No, it was.
it was. Oh.
Yeah, yeah. It was
Mhm.
discovered long ago, but it was not made
Uh-huh.
so medicine dependent as today.
But it wasn't prevalent in
Okay.
those days, those diabetic.
No,
And
that was because of
let's
the,
say the
see,
patient
diabetes
and
is
doctor meet,
basically, no,
and
no,
doctor wants to make the diabetic the patient to
no, see, the doctor is working for his
means
rewards.
yes. Hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, in those days also it existed, but see, today the lifestyle is if you have an opportunity, you would want to go by car to the first floor of your building. In those days, even to learn a language, I remember my father telling me he used to walk, I believe, 8 miles one way because he wanted to learn English.
Yeah.
And his English was impeccable,
Wow.
flawless. Right? Now, 8 miles one way. How many hours will it take? Even if you walk, it will take you about 2 hours or slightly more. 2 hours to go, 2 hours to come back. 4 hours. How much energy is burnt? Now, diabetes is basically a metabolic disorder, correct?
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
even though it was discovered, their lifestyle was such, and then they believed that there were remedies at home. They used to be change in diet. I remember my grandfather, who was a diabetic. I mean, I know how he controlled. They would eat at 10 o'clock in the morning. If they have to eat, if they are hungry, they will again eat at 7 o'clock in the evening. Nothing in between, except for 1 cup of coffee. Are we living life like that? And anywhere they have to go, they have to cycle. Our lifestyle is not like that. You go pour petrol and then keep roaming. Right? So it is
Definitely,
also
the
lifestyle only. Pardon?
physical exercise is minimized compared to those days. And
Correct. And eating habits have gone bad.
yes,
You
Eating
don't
habits.
eat anything fresh. You eat
Yes.
everything stored, processed. Yeah.
Yes. So, upon the patient, a doctor often assigns and projects his own feelings of helplessness against which he combats. The interactions continue with the patient trying to please the doctor, and at best, merely changing from one group of symptoms to another. Far too often, the doctor shares the patient's unshakable belief in poor health and disease. Not only this, but the medical profession often provides blueprints for diseases, and the patient too often tries them on for size. This is not to say that the medical profession often is not of great aid and benefit, but within the value system in which it operates, much of its positive influence is negated. Because they are held in such high esteem, the suggestions given by doctors are paid particular attention. The patient's emotional condition is such that he or she readily accepts statements made under such circumstances less critically than usual. The naming and labeling of diseases is harmful practice that to a large extent denies the innate mobility and ever-changing quality of the psyche as expected in flesh. You are told that you have something. Out of blue, it has attacked you and your intimate organs perhaps. You are usually told that your emotions or beliefs or system of values have nothing to do with the unfortunate circumstances that beset you. The patient therefore often feels relatively powerless and at the mercy of any stray virus that might come along. The facts are that you choose even the kind of illness that you have according to the nature of your beliefs. You are immune from ill health as long as you believe that you are. That's an interesting sentence that, the facts are.
No, you are immune from ill health as long as you believe that you are immune.
Yes.
So again, what is he telling us? He says everything is from your mind.
Based on our belief system.
Correct.
These are quite practical statements. Your body has an overall body consciousness filled with energy and vitality. It automatically rights any imbalances, but your conscious beliefs also affect this body consciousness. Your muscles believe what you tell them about themselves. So does every other portion of your physical body. So this is what we've been learning in reading other books as well.
Correct.
Yes.
So basically, what is he telling? He says that you are actually made good,
Yes.
but you need to believe in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So while you believe that only doctors can cure you, you had better go to them because in the framework of your beliefs, they are the only people who can help you. But the framework itself is limiting. And again, while you may be cured of one difficulty, you will only replace it with another as long as your beliefs cause you to have a physical problems. Pretty obvious. So. Now the same applies to what is frequently called spiritual healing. If through the concentrated use of psychic energy your body is cured by such a healer, you will also simply trade those symptoms for others unless you change your initial beliefs. Now sometimes a healer or a doctor with his effectiveness in healing a condition will show you by inference that the healing energy was always within yourself. And this realization may be enough to allow you to change your beliefs about health entirely.
See, here there is a very interesting observation. I remember doctors in yesteryears, if you go to them, they would say, please remember, 10% is my effort, 90% is your effort. They used to say this. And they would only ask you to remember that sentence that the body knows how to heal, which is not what doctor says. He even goes to the extent of saying, you don't take this medicine, I can give you 3 months of life. Who is he to tell us that?
Yeah.
Right? We become dependent on him to such an extent. Let's go ahead.
They become dependent on pharmacy to such an extent.
No, they make us dependent because they get revenue from both
Of course,
sources.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, because of that, so they depend on the to promote the pharmacy drugs.
Yeah.
So, in such a case, you will realize that your previous ill health was caused by your belief. If you have any physical problems, concentrate instead upon the health portions of your body and the unimpeded functions that you have. In the healthy areas, your beliefs are working for you. As I mentioned in the last session, inner sounds are extremely important. Each of the atoms and molecules that compose your body has its own reality in sound values that you do not have physically. Each organ of your body then has its own unique sound value too. When there is something wrong, the inner sounds are discordant. So our picture, we always refer to
No,
that.
this sound is referring to is actually the
Yeah.
frequency of
The
vibration.
vibrational frequency, yes. Yeah. The unharmonious sounds have become a part of that portion of the body as a result of the inner sound of your own thought beliefs. That is why it is vital that you not reinforce these inner sounds through repeating the same negative suggestions to yourself. Verbal suggestions are translated into inner sound. This passes through your body in somewhat the same way that some kinds of light do. Wow. Okay.
Okay, now, any discussion required here? Is it very clear? Are we all aligned to this sentence?
Absolutely, sir. So
Yes.
when someone says like tomorrow morning you'll have a fever, then it will be manifested. Definitely, I've seen it here.
No, you will work hard towards manifesting. I've still not got it. I've still not got it. I've still not got it.
Even the yesterday's book, she kept using the word clear. Clear
Correct.
the word,
Clear. Clear.
along with other
That was
visualization.
fantastic. What we read yesterday is a direct stamp from what we are doing in Unified.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you may take a break. Okay. Now, while you are physical creatures, then your perceptions must be largely physically oriented. Even your bodies exist in other terms than you usually suppose. You
Ramakrishna
perceive them.
sir, this is answering your question.
Yes, ma'am. Can you please repeat that sentence?
Sure. Now, while you are physical creatures, then your perceptions must be largely physically oriented.
Yes.
Even your bodies exist in other terms than you usually suppose.
Read further. The
So
explanation is not ending there.
Okay. You perceive them as objects with bulk composed of bone and flesh. They also have structure of sound, light, and electromagnetic properties that you do not perceive. These are all connected with the physical image that you know. Any physical disabilities will show themselves in these other structures initially. The sound, light, and electromagnetic patterns give strength and vitality to the physical form that you recognize. They are more mobile than physical body. and even more susceptible to the changing pattern of your own thought and emotion.
Okay, so they are highly susceptible to the changing pattern. What? This, your existence as particles. Okay,
Yeah.
right.
I told you that thoughts are translated into this inner sound, but thoughts always attempt to materialize themselves also. As such, they are incipient images, collectors of energy. They build up their own embryonic form until it is one way or another physically translated.
Yeah, this is
Mentally,
what we are learning in your physical destiny, psychic destiny, mental destiny, and then noetic destiny, right?
oh yeah, embryonic
Hmm.
form until it is okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
correct, correct.
Mental images, therefore, are extremely powerful, combining inner sound and its effects with a clear mental picture, which will seek physical form. Your imagination adds motivating and propelling power to such images, and so you will find that many of your beliefs are entertained by you in an inner visual manner. They will
Hmm.
have a mental pictures connected with them.
So
Okay.
that means what? Your thoughts,
The
your imaginations, which are
visualization techniques.
generally,
Yes.
yeah. Now
Okay.
he is taking one example.
One such image may represent one particular belief or it may stand for several. As you make lists of your beliefs, you will find some of these pictures coming into your mind. Look at them as you would painting you have created. If you do not like what you see, then quite consciously change the picture in your mind. Okay. So just work on your
So
visualization techniques.
this is the visualization part,
Yeah, yeah, and refine them as it
right?
works. These images are interior, yet because they are so part of your beliefs, you will see them exteriorized also in your experience. Let me give you a simple example. You have a sore toe. Now and then you see it quite clearly in your mind. You may find yourself looking at the toe more frequently than usual, and you may also find yourself picking out from the populace anyone who is not walking properly. These people might escape your notice ordinarily, but suddenly the world seems to be full of sore toes. Uh,
Hmm.
I remember just a small example. Couple of months ago, our car has to be totaled, and it was a green color. And of course, we got a different one. But during the time frame, whenever I was driving, I was seeing every green. I was not, paying more attention to those, that specific brand, the green colors. I said, really, this many green colors?
But
Cars were existing
that
of
is
the
what
same brand.
happens. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's something like related to this.
Hmm.
We are dealing to make a point with a belief already made physical. But if you continued such concentration, the toe either would not heal or would develop into a worse condition. Oh, okay. Behind all this, of course, would be the belief that caused the difficulty. But once you have brought about a group of symptoms, you must be very careful that you do not begin to view your field of reality from that position. When you do, you add both inner and outer images that reinforce the condition.
Hmm.
Okay.
I can very well visualize this because this is exactly what happened with my toe.
You are
The
paying
first
extra
one.
attention.
Yeah, the first one happened like that. The others happened because those memories came back many times.
Mm. But it's not that easy to, not to think about because, when a specific body part is, in pain, like when we are, feeling the pain or any external symptoms, it's automatic. Our thought and thought goes there, and our mind goes there, and we keep thinking about it. How can we
No,
avoid?
but okay, very good question. First of all, let us say you are doing unified meditation. Okay?
Mm,
At least I practiced it for my coming out. Now, when you are doing that practice, you will have that pain, but your approach to that pain will be, I have learned my lesson.
mm,
You are not resisting the pain. You are not trying to analyze the pain. You are trying to look at the moment when you are going to be healed.
okay.
That means you are giving it negative energy. And you are also saying you are unwanted. So I am releasing you to Mother Nature.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So now what is happening? You are unconsciously thinking that the pain is there, but consciously you are giving it negative energy.
Yes.
Right? So that you keep on practicing whenever you get time. Then it starts acting like auto-suggestion.
Mm.
Because, like in this diagram,
So we really have to restrain our thought patterns and redirect them.
you don't give it energy, it is existing. Okay. So what are you doing? Just like what you learn in your 10 energy support. You are surrounding that individual, in this case yourself, with everything that is talking of another language, not this language.
Mm.
Are you getting it?
Sir,
Yes.
you do that
Go
in.
ahead, go ahead, ma'am. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question on that. So we
Hmm.
keep saying that in the meditation or during whenever we think about
No,
that pain?
you convince yourself. How many of you have seen the movie Patal Bhairavi?
Yeah, long time back,
Some
sir.
time ago.
Long time
Balakrishna's,
back,
right,
right?
sir?
No, no,
No,
no,
no,
no,
no, the
not
old
No,
one.
very old
Balakrishna.
one.
The old
Old
one,
one.
N.T. Ramarao, who is like a young boy
Black
in
and
that,
white.
Yeah.
Okay.
right?
I don't remember the
Whenever
story, but
there
when I.
is, right, whenever there is the sound
Hmm.
of the negative energy, you hear S.V. Rangarao say, Jai Patal Bhairavi, and then rub his beard.
Hmm.
What is he doing there?
He was invoking that negative.
He is invoking the powers, saying that the appearance of all those demons
Yeah.
are indication that Patal Bhairavi is blessing him,
Hmm.
right? I mean, in the heart of hearts, he was afraid of every move. So he was telling N.T. Ramarao, you go first.
Hmm.
Sahasam Chaira Dimbaka. That's his dialogue, right?
Yeah.
So that is what we need to do. You give it the other kind of energy. In feeling tones also, in the first chapter, in thinking, in this, he talks about the same thing, right? You release it through your thought process. Got it? So that is what we need to do.
It's a conscious practice.
Yes.
So
So what is he saying? Behind all this, of course, read that gray
behind
highlighted.
all this, of course, would be the belief that caused the difficulty. But once you have brought about a group of symptoms, you must be very careful that you do not begin to view your field of reality from that position.
Exactly. You do not view your reality from that position. That
Yes.
means don't give that particular thought any energy. Sorry.
Yes.
Don't give it any, right?
Energy to that.
What
Yes.
happens when you do so?
So when you do, you add both inner and outer images that reinforce the condition.
So you will reinforce that condition. Now let us read further.
There is light then that you do not see with physical eyes, as there is sound that you do not hear with your ears. These combine to mentally form the physical image that you know, so you must work from the inside out. Your beliefs are your palette, using the analogy of painting again.
Okay, got it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Your thoughts give the general outline of the reality that you physically experience. Your emotions will fill in the patterns with light.
Okay,
Your
now here, remember the phrase, fake it till you make it, right?
hmm,
The
that
body
means
does
the
not
experience.
understand whether something is physical or abstract,
Yes.
right?
Sir,
I'm sorry, not the body, the mind. Okay. So the mind, it doesn't have to be, it can, even imagination can take you to the end goal.
Yeah. Your
Right?
imagination will
Yeah,
forge this together. Yeah.
correct.
The sound of your inner thoughts is the medium that you actually use. This is far more than an analogy. However, for in simple terms, it explains quite clearly the way in which your beliefs form your reality.
Okay.
So, in
In
quiet
quiet
moments,
moments,
the word Om said slowly, mentally, or aloud will be of benefit in toning up your general physical condition. The sounds contain within them a built-in impetus toward energy and well-being, as I will explain shortly.
so
Now I'm
even he is talking about the word Om.
Om
Yes, so
sound.
where did you get it? Dr. Sai?
Pardon?
Where did you get that connection to the Om word?
He is a theosophist, remember?
Ah, has he ever visited India?
I don't think so. But the practices of Indian Theosophical Society, he was the president of Theosophical Society in the US, right?
Yeah.
So they have the same thing, everything. You see, Theosophical Society is based on the occult teachings of Madam Blavatsky.
Ah,
That entire occult teaching is derived from Vedas, Upanishads, which she envisioned.
oh,
Yeah. So
Okay.
she is the
Now,
base even for the
in her next life, she was the wife of Master CVV,
oh, yep, you mentioned, yes.
right? And we all know who Master CVV was,
Yes, sir, you mentioned it, yeah.
right? And I also mentioned one more case that I was reading, Veturi Prabhakar Shastri, who
Uh-huh.
was the uncle of Vetur Sundaram Murthy. You all know who Vetur Sundaram Murthy was, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
He was a great poet. He was a fantastic lyricist. I think more than 60% of the songs that we hear today are his
Yes.
lyrics. Okay.
yes.
Now, he was a disciple of Master CVV.
Yeah.
And they used to treat people remotely by meditation. See,
Hmm.
when people used to go on hunger strike in those days, Master CVV would tell everyone, please feed yourself to the brim. Because We have to take out that energy and send it across to people who are on hunger strike.
Wow.
Okay. How is all that working? And all these people who would come to me, and whenever he was in Tirupati, I believe, and whenever he would hold any meditation session, including the cattle, the animals in that area, they would come and stand outside his house. That entire road used to get blocked, it seems.
Wow.
And that was the power they wielded over the nature.
Yes.
And nature supported them because they were doing it for the cause of the humanity. Getting it?
It's like performing a yajna.
It is like a yajna, correct?
Yeah.
Right? If 100 people make the sound of Om at the same time, have you experienced you have this Veda Goshti, wherein you invite all the Ghanapatis, right?
Yeah.
Just sit when they are reciting the Vedas.
Yeah, that itself, the vibration itself.
Do you know,
take
you
us into
really feel those vibrations?
Yes. Take us into a different world.
In our temples, like we do the Maharudram with 100 to
I mean,
100.
when you do it, how do you feel?
Oh yeah, it's
Right?
yeah, and yes, sir. I know how I feel it.
Exactly. Yeah. So let's go on to the next section.
Okay. Jane's delivery was leisurely and quiet as the session began. Now, good evening. Good evening, Seth. Dictation. The body reacts not so much to physical sound as to the interior sounds into which the physical sounds are translated.
See, let's practically do this for a moment, okay? I will play one of my favorite. Just close your eyes and experience it. See how you feel. Just 5 minutes, okay? Okay. Did you listen to every single sound that was coming out? Were you able to register every single bit of sound that was coming?
Yes, sir. It is also my
There is the
favorite.
ghatam, there is the mridangam,
Yeah,
there is the violin,
yeah.
there is the flute. And did you feel different? Now, take this and compare it to singing. Have you seen a singer perform?
Yes. Bala.
There is one who is playing the vocal,
Yeah.
he is singing, but when when he has to stop and they do the percussion instruments subsequently, do you see how he encourages them? Actually, he is not encouraging them. He is enjoying that music, and these are all spontaneous actions that are coming out of him. Right?
So
So,
it's like a sound therapy, right?
It,
I
it
mean,
is
if you
sound
think,
therapy. See,
yeah.
you give it a name, it is therapy, but otherwise, it is music. It is charging the environment with energy of that kind. Would you not agree to that?
Absolutely, sir. Sir, when you get a chance, please look, look on YouTube, search for one of the Toronto groups. They played
Which
an
one?
album. One of the, I'm trying to get the name. It's from there, from Toronto. Many students and professionals, 150 members or so. They played.
I think you are talking about, see, they played it on the Mridangam. Yella Venkateshwar Rao did the yagam there.
No. It's not that one, sir. It is basically it's a whole cast, like starting from students to the elders, all played at the same time. That reminded me of Tyagaraja. What's up?
Aradhana.
Yaratana of Tiruchi.
Yeah. No, see, there are so many, yes. And in one of long marathon meditation session, I used some of this combination of musics. That was about 3.5 years ago. Yeah. Anyway, right. So let's continue, man. So that is how they impact us.
As
Now,
mentioned, okay, sorry, go ahead, sir.
see, that is the reason why I say doing something like this under the guise of Ananda Brahma is much better than spending so much money.
What is that, sir? Can you say that again?
I said, rather than spending a lot of money,
Hmm.
right,
Hmm.
doing something like this is far more impactful.
Like bringing a musician and then doing the meditation.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah,
And
that's what we are doing
all
now.
musicians need not be physically present. That saves you a lot of money, lot of time.
Right. Yeah. Actually,
You can
that's
do
what
a
people are
virtual,
saying. Like,
symphony.
hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, that's what we are doing, sir. Every month. Actually, this Friday we are getting a Veena live musician.
No,
So
no, I
blissful Earth,
said
that's what we are doing.
make it virtual,
Virtual only, online. No in
online,
person.
and the entire symphony online.
Yeah, one
After all,
instrument.
on the stage also, why one instrument, symphony? On the stage, you have multiple mics.
Yeah, but again, that will be an in-person event. You have to get the
No,
hall.
no, 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 no. Well, let me complete, Sudhekar. Now,
Okay.
close your eyes.
Mhm.
Okay, remove the stage. Can you still have multiple mics at different locations? Because all mics are not at the same place, right?
Yeah.
Even on the stage. Now make it virtual. Why can't you do that? Try it. You will make 10 mistakes and 11th one, you will be a master.
I mean, actually, that's what they did concerts during the COVID time. A lot of Carnatic musicians, one person in one city, another person in another city. So they have virtually did all music concerts, even in Chennai, right? The music festival happens.
See,
So,
when you
but
are
now everything
listening,
back.
no,
Hmm.
see, we just listened. I played it on YouTube, but you
Mhm.
had so many instruments. All of us got the benefit of that,
Yes, sir. Yeah.
right? So, I mean, that is why I keep saying whenever there is a lot of money spent on Ananda Brahma, so many people put to throw so many difficulties and all. That is why I immediately say I don't believe in it.
I think in India that's what is happening. I
No,
don't think in
in
US
India
it's.
they spend money like as though it is water.
Yeah,
Do you
but
know
I
how
think
many people
that.
you can feed with that?
Okay, I don't know, sir, but I think that was only.
75 lakhs of rupees.
Oh, but didn't
You
they get the?
invite film stars and all to pay them. You are collecting money.
Yeah. But I heard they got a free land after that. Government or somebody gave the land for
They
pyramid
see,
like that.
you would have got it even otherwise.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the
So
one I am encouraging, sir, for at least Blissful Arts, I can talk because I don't know other Ananda Brahma in India, what they are doing. At least for this, my focus is bringing an artist and giving the platform for them. And then we are meditating for full moon for an hour with live music. And the second program, what I was thinking was provide the platform for all the artists, whatever art they want to perform. It could be dance or vocal or any
no, create
instrumental.
a symphony. I am saying take it one step beyond that. Create a symphony. Got it?
Okay,
Create
sir.
a symphony. Yeah. Okay.
As
Let's go further.
mentioned, as mentioned in the last two sessions, it also reacts to sound that have no physical counterparts. There are certain properties within the structure of the chromosomes that must be activated by specific internal sounds values. If this activation does not take place, then the attributes latent within the chromosomes remain so.
So now what is he talking about here from our diagram? Right? He is talking about the left hand side, this portion.
Yeah.
For these equations to get completed, for these outcomes to happen, he's talking about these. Okay? In other words, he is also talking about what these are. Beliefs and perceptions, how we form them. Got it?
Altering the DNA, pretty much.
Exactly. There are
There are
chains.
chains of influence. There are chains of influence that are actually composed of inner values of sound that thread together, as it were, the complicated interweavings of both the genes and chromosomes. I am taking this slowly to explain it as simply as possible.
Okay, now just hold the line.
Sure.
Here, we talk about thoughts, right? The energy, either static or in motion, plus earlier thoughts and okay. Okay. Right. So thoughts as energy plus earlier thoughts and feelings, they are laid out as a pattern. This pattern is being created by you.
Yes.
Call it visualization, call it experience, call it feelings. All these are forms which is changing the shape of what you are creating in this manner. Answer. Why is this? Which one did I pick up? Right? So now you are changing the shape of what you are creating. You are changing this pattern, correct?
Yeah.
And these patterns are the ones that are going to influence your cycle of creativity, which is the nature's process. That is why he says, right, in the very first line in this book is, you exteriorize the picture in your mind. The first para talks about that, correct?
Yes.
So just become aware of that thing.
What type of patterns we are creating?
Exactly. Because he is explaining that here in that line.
Yes. The sound
These
values are
sound
generally
values are,
interwoven in electromagnetic.
we are creating
Electromagnetic.
that pattern.
Yes. So the sound weaves themselves through the help form this pattern. Okay, gesturing.
Correct.
So the activity of cells within the body also causes what you might call minute explosions of interior sound.
Minute.
Sorry. Oh, minute. Okay. Minute explosions of interior sound. The electromagnetic and inner sound patterns are impinged upon by certain kinds of light. Together, these all form the prototype upon which and out of which the physical body is formed. Let me read that one more, sir. The electromagnetic and inner sound patterns are impinged upon by certain kinds of light. Together, these all form the prototype upon which and out of which the physical body is formed.
So how do we read this? Right? You have created let us say you have created a pattern of this type. Okay? This pattern then follows the, what is this process here? What does this process refer to? Anybody? What is this process?
The thoughts and feelings, which are the electric and magnetic representation of electric and magnetic vibrations, are we called?
No. Don't think in simple terms. How does nature work? The Panchabhutas in the nature, what happens to them? Do they go through this process? Can you stop this process?
No.
Can you stop this process?
No.
We can't.
This is a natural process.
Yes.
This is happening in nature at all times. Okay. Now, with this in the mind, what will happen with this pattern that you are creating?
So,
Working on the involuntary system, is that what you're trying to
Exactly.
say?
You are feeding this,
Involuntary
correct?
system of our body. Oh, okay.
Are you not feeding it?
Yes.
Right?
So,
When you,
nothing.
yeah,
So what I'm thinking is please, like, when your thoughts are in one direction, that basically causes any kind of an ailment, which is typically any kind of, like, what we have seen through the different books, like any digestive system problems, allergies, all of the cancer, all of those things. But when you change the thinking process and realign your thoughts to another way, then all of that will get reversed. It's the same diagram, but it is going in a different direction. Different
no, it is
components
not
are,
going in a, no, it's not going in a different direction. What are these? How are you
what I mean.
creating this pattern?
No, what I mean to say is, like, different molecules either are getting formed or not getting formed by changing your thoughts.
No, they are, see, but then you are not changing the process. You are changing the inputs to the process.
Yes, that's what, yeah, I meant that, yes, right.
Okay, that input becomes your pattern
Uh-huh.
because every thought you are creating is not complete in itself when I take a digitized sample.
Yeah,
So, if you take a thought, let's say this is a thought. Okay. Now, this thought, when it manifests as an object, let us say
yeah,
the object is represented by a square. For this thought to fill up this complete entity, which is, let us say, a table or a pen or something,
yeah,
which is an object,
yes,
it requires many of these thoughts to fill up this. The thoughts, you will,
yeah,
when I say an object, let's say a table, you will think of legs, you will think of height. All these are thoughts, right?
yes,
So you will create the complete picture. That complete picture of that particular object is going to then change the pattern in which these basic components that make up the human body undergo a change. The activity of the cells within the body also, they will also start aligning their negative vibration to a more powerful vibration,
yeah,
right? Okay. The electromagnetic and inner sound patterns are impinged upon by certain kinds of light. That light is from your evaluation of your thoughts of what the state of that light, the intensity, etc. are. Getting it?
yeah, yes,
Right. So then, right, these all form the prototype upon which and out of which the physical form is formed.
So here the certain kinds of light is can we relate that this light of what we have learned in the thinking and destiny about the light that is
Yes,
coming in the
yes,
noetic
yes.
destiny,
So,
plane.
exactly. So now what is happening? Noetic destiny is nothing but thoughts which are clear, which are manifestable, which are complete in itself, because that is knowledge.
It's in purified form.
Correct. Right? That is knowledge.
Yeah.
Knowledge is the light. Okay. Now what is he saying here? You are giving it together all these form. That means all the bits and pieces of what you have created becomes the shape. Your thoughts will eventually manifest a shape, right? This shape, this shape will have color, texture, it will have solid, uh, flexible, or rigid, and so on. These become all the characteristics that you are creating for that particular entity, correct?
Yes.
Are you getting me?
Yes.
So this is what you are going to visualize, right? Now read further.
Now,
He is
when
only elaborating on your what happens when you are creating this. You will give it the necessary characteristics. Go ahead. Yeah.
When you create a mental image in your mind, it is composed of the same properties just mentioned.
Hmm.
A mental image then is also a pattern of internal sound with electromagnetic properties imbued with a certain light values. In a sense, and a very real one, the mental image is incipient matter, and any structure so composed, combining the electromagnetic sound and light values, will automatically try to reproduce itself in physical existence or materialization. There is a definite connection then with the nature of such images and the way in which your body itself is composed.
Correct? This is exactly what when we read yesterday, right? When we read about the secret language of your body.
Okay.
Are you able to relate to that?
Yeah.
When he says clear, what are you doing? You are changing the shape of what you are undergoing.
Yeah.
When you are visualizing a color and you are painting it as an artist, what are you doing?
Mm.
Yeah, let's continue.
So, electrons, atoms, and molecules all have their independent interior sound and light values. There are definite sound produced when messages leap from your nerve ends. It is very difficult to explain some of this, but there is invisible light, then and inaudible sound that affects your body and helps form the pattern about which it constantly emerges. Wow. So, the body is obviously continually created during your present lifetime in your terms. It is not a mechanism once created then left to fend for itself. You were not given a certain amount of life force at birth that you use up as long as you go along, contrary to many schools of thought.
So, sir,
Hmm.
in this chapter, he is
Hmm.
repeated the two words invisible light and inaudible sound at least 3 or 4 times. Today itself, I heard that.
Correct.
I think that is, yeah, something like we need to focus on that in the coming days. And then,
No, that is
Has
exactly what
yeah,
your manifestation is. The
yeah,
process of manifestation, this is
yeah,
one of the milestones.
yes.
Yeah, Ratna ma'am, you are
Plus,
saying something.
they all vibrate, right? Because it's all energy particles. When it vibrates at a certain frequency, that it is itself create a sound.
Correct. Correct.
So, the atoms and molecules within you are quite literally dying and being completely replaced all the time. You are being created physically each instant. Period. The
No,
body
this
reacts
is
to
what he is showing us here. Yeah, let's go ahead. Continue,
okay.
continue.
The body reacts to exterior sounds and to the stimuli brought to it by the physical senses.
Hmm.
These patterns of reaction can be clearly shown. They are all that is presently observable, however, are far greater interactions that also occur. The atoms and molecules that compose your cells and your flesh.
So
Jai,
basically, what is he taken us through? He has created a framework of what I would like to call right? Would you agree? He has told us that thoughts travel a particular pathway and that becomes the destination that is under our control. Would you agree?
Yes, sir.
That's what we have created now, correct?
Yep.
That's exactly what we have created. Now, read these two also, ma'am.
Yeah, there is a steady progression in complexity involving the three. Electrons are negatively charged particles circling a nucleus on which there are an equal number of positive charges. Together, these make up an atom, and groups of atoms combine to form molecules. Seth tells us in chapter 19 of Seth Speaks, molecular structures send out their own messages, and unless you are tuned in to perceive them, they may be interpreted as meaningless noise.
Right. So, atoms and molecules that compose your cells and your flesh, for instance,
For instance, do not react to the physical sounds that you hear or the light patterns that your physical eyes perceive. In
correct.
times of danger, your entire body must be able to move swiftly. The hormonal system must react with great rapidity, sometimes completely changing the balance of a moment earlier. The muscles must be immediately alert and the entire body flexible enough to respond as a whole. This includes every organ and the most minute portion.
Correct.
Say you are in the middle of a street and suddenly a car is about to hit you. It has come seemingly from nowhere. The cells that compose your intestines, your heart, your muscles obviously do not see the car as you do. Yet the whole system must be instantly activated, and the data that you perceive must be translated in terms of that will energize every portion of your body. This is done by translating exterior stimuli into interior stimuli, but the physical carriers of the data are all that scientists or physicians have been able to follow thus far. The greater interactions haven't been perceived, and the true story of the decoding of such messages, much louder abruptly, hasn't been understood. And take your break.
See how beautifully he has said.
Yeah.
Ramakrishna sir, you are saying something,
sir.
we are not able to hear.
No, I know. I did not say anything. It's exactly yes. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Continue, sir.
Yeah. You can
Yeah.
directly jump in here. All that is not
Yes,
relevant.
conversations, yes.
Yeah.
The nerves are also composed of the same kind of interior structures as mentioned earlier, around or rather than from which the physical nerves form. Here, the exterior data is translated and broken down into inner terms. That is, it is decoded in the terms of the internal sound, light, and electromagnetic patterns discussed before.
It
So
becomes
it then becomes usable information, even in terms of the atoms and molecules that compose the cells. The physical lapse that occurs between an incoming message and its intended destination does not occur on these other levels. The interior message gets to its destination ahead of the physical one.
correct. Then look at this. The interior message gets to its destination. It's a relay race.
So
The entire body formation is like a relay race with predetermined milestones of a process that is natural in nature, the involuntary system.
it has to be because
You can't change it, but you can influence it.
as his example suggested, before we can fathom the external situation, our body is already reacted to it.
Yep.
Correct.
So
Okay, let's go further.
by the time the organism responds, the inner patterns have already reacted, and this must and always does precede any physical response
To
to
stimuli.
stimuli. Therefore, the invisible body pattern, composed of its interior light, sound, and electromagnetic properties, reacts first and actually initiates the later physical response, as I just mentioned that.
How much more is there in this chapter?
A lot.
Oh, I don't think we'll be able to complete. So we will mull over where we are now.
Okay.
Okay. Or do you want to spend, this may take another 20-25 minutes, which means
Actually, we will
it'll be
stop
very
here
late.
and then, yeah, go through the
Yeah, I
entire-
know, because it will be very late. We need to
Yeah.
digest all this.
Yeah.
Is that okay, Kirti, Surekha?
Yes, sir.
Because for me
Yes.
and Namrata, the situation is different. And Anu.
Yeah.
But
We
for
can
you,
stop.
the situation is, we'll stop.
Yeah.